Hey there, Toonami faithful, and welcome back aboard Toonami Absolution, where we talk about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. Once again, we are your hosts. My name is Alex.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John. Yes, episode 23 and 24 of Transformers Beast Wars. The Law of the Jungle made its debut February 17th, 1997, and Before the Storm, February 21st, 1997.
The
So,
plot's kicking in.
Yeah, story is for me.
yes,
Well,
including a loss for Tigatron.
Yeah.
yes, his Snowstalker, his girlfriend. The first episode of Law of the Jungle is really interesting because it's there are some lines there that feel they should be in a Transformers show.
Oh, which ones?
I loved Dinobot when they had the thing because for the full story, in a fracas, Tigatron's girlfriend, who is an actual tiger, we saw her back in Fallen Comrades, gets crushed, so Tigatron quits. Dinobot goes to find him. He's like, and he points out to a tiger killing a deer. He's like, "Look, everything on this planet kills." And then Tigatron's like, "Oh, but animals kill to survive." And Dinobot goes, "What do you think war is?" And with like the most Shakespearean.
That's my boy.
What? Like, whoa, some passion in this.
It,
Like,
it yeah.
go for it.
It's rare that we get permanent loss in Beast Wars. We've seen Maximals and Predacons get scrapped before, but there's always some handy Energon trick that brings them back, right? I guess we did lose Angel Island Zone about 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
but this does feel different. It does kind of remind everybody that there are consequences, and it's shit's getting real.
I mean, one of the big themes in Transformers, man, here we go. One of the Transformers at its core really does contain a certain like anti-war sentiment to it. Like pretty much every version, with the exception of G1 for the most part, because a big emphasis is always put on the collateral damage that the Cybertronian Civil War is doing. Like particularly in the comics, because I've always got to mention the comics at least 4 times per Beast Wars episode. But particularly in the comics, like there are millions of organic life forms, billions, trillions of organic life forms that Megatron is single-handedly responsible for killing, and they do hold him responsible for that. I think it's really interesting, but it also shows what the mindset of the war is. It's for survival. At a certain point in the Transformers canon, like Cybertron is a dead planet. It doesn't produce what it needs to produce to sustain its population. A large chunk of the Cybertronian Civil War is a war of survival, especially when you bring the Quintessons into everything. So I like that this is where the reboot shift is starting to hit, where you got to play guitar with Megabyte, and now Megabyte is going to try to kill you. It's an interesting time for that shift to happen.
It's also interesting that the shift is happening, but a lot of the Looney Tunes stuff we introduced is sticking around.
Yep.
We'll see that like the next episode, but even in this one, like Waspinator doing his fourth wall breaks and making whistling sounds as he falls. It's like that. This episode has some real tonal whiplash, where it's like we have Tigatron sort of talking about the finality of death, and then it cuts to Waspinator doing his like tight five with the other guys. Like, really?
Hey, got to keep it light for the kids.
So Snowstalker has died, children, but Waspinator is still alive. It's okay.
Don't worry, Waspinator is your lord and savior. Snowstalker being dead doesn't matter.
She doesn't have a toy, so it doesn't matter if she dies.
Did Snowstalker ever get a toy? Okay.
No. I did look it up because I was curious. Because she is the same model as Tigatron.
That's true.
I
That's
do
fair.
like this trend we have, though, of whenever we introduce a real animal into Beast Wars, they make it look especially derpy. Because the tiger we see hunting the deer is very, very derpy looking, which I presume is to sort of make sure the kids know who is a transformer and who isn't. But it's just like, I'm surprised that tiger could even hunt, let alone successfully.
Yeah.
Also, my favorite thing I've noticed is that whenever we cut to this, Dinobot has like a little dream sequence where he shows what Megatron's going to do if he wins, which is level Cybertron. But we've only got the one Cybertron set. It's always that same one we keep seeing, which makes it look like Megatron really hates this one street.
Just hates Cincinnati.
Like he got a bad burrito there in like 1997, just won't let it go.
Yeah. Gotta reuse those assets, man. You've seen the level of animation on this thing.
I mean,
You know, it's kind of like Spider-Man is New York superhero, but Daredevil really micromanages the shit out of those 5 blocks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, like, if you think about it, Spider-Man's got to be mostly like financial district in Midtown, right? Where else is he gonna swing? You don't see him swinging around like Greenwich Village or like,
we have to cycle.
Queens.
yeah, certainly not Queens or Staten Island. Who's the Staten Island hero? We'll never know.
Walking
Mikey
man.
from the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, like this I like when Transformers gets philosophical. It is at its core a philosophical series in the same way that Star Trek at its core is a philosophical series. Like they're very different, but they are more thinky than they are on the surface. And you get that here with Dinobot, and we're seeing the character that is going to make Dinobot an early entry into the Transformers Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's a really good episode. Like, I know I've been joking with it. It's a really good episode. That bit with Dinobot and Tigatron is really well done. It's just it took me by surprise because it's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Also, guys, point out I love Inferno is the one who kills the tiger with his new weapon, which I think he may have brought from the same store Batman animated series Joker does, like a missile that makes more missiles. It's the most slapstick weapon in the world. It's like I just like it.
I love Inferno. Inferno is such a great addition to the Predacons. I forgot how much I loved Inferno, and I'm reminded
I think
deeply.
you can tell the writers thought that as well because Inferno's arrival in these next episodes basically sidelines half of the others.
Well, yeah, and also like Inferno kind of gets like Inferno's the badass of this episode, so to speak. I mean, Inferno ambushes every like all the Maximals, takes down it's been a couple weeks since I've seen the episode. It was, Optimus Primal and Dinobot, right? It takes a timely appearance from our friend Tigatron to save the day. But yeah, Inferno is the Predacon that gets the MVP award this time around.
Yeah, and
We
he's
are also.
the
Oh,
most
go ahead.
wary one as well, which I quite like. He is more unhinged and willing to fight continually, which makes him good for this episode. Like he's a nice counterpoint to Tigatron.
And there's something also very interesting when you put Dinobot, who exists kind of in the middle between Predacons and Maximals, because he's not fully Maximal culture, but he's fighting with them, but he's not like a heartless killing machine like Inferno is, and I think that that's really interesting. I also, I also just love that we're seeing Dinobot and Optimus Prime's like marital problems fully now.
I'm not sure if it's deliberate, but one thing I really love this episode is the fact that when Dinobot makes his whole thing to Optimus about all he's got to fight, Optimus doesn't say anything. There's a really not. I'm not. It might be accidental. It's a really nice idea that Optimus has this thing of like, well, he's right, but I can't say it because I also agree with Tigatron. Like Tigatron is right to be sad, and Dinobot is right that we're going to die if we don't fight. There is no answer here, which as a leader puts you in a bit of a quandary.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we should probably talk about Before the Storm because that's a weird little episode.
Oh man, so the golden disc. So, for those of you who don't know, the Golden Disc is a direct reference to the Voyager Golden Record. That was launched 30 years before this episode came out in 1977. It contains sounds to recreate data and is basically Carl Sagan's crazy LSD idea to try to reach out to alien civilizations. And the carvings on the gold disc we see are a direct reference to the carvings that are on the gold disc that were part of the Voyager probe. But yeah, just a quick little info dump on that because I think it's very cool.
Yes, it's a weird thing to bring up in Transformers, but yeah, I love in this episode because they find it in a mountain where it's like on a rock that's spinning around like it's in a Zelda dungeon.
Oh yeah,
I was kind of waiting for the da 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 da, like this Inferno holding it up, like ha.
Yeah.
You got the plot.
Yeah. It is, but to your point, John, earlier, it is a weird episode.
it is.
you've got, the dynamic between Optimus and Megatron. You've got kind of like the Maximals and the Predacons having to deal with that, Pterosaur being Pterosaur. There's a lot of weird dynamics at play in this episode.
It's one thing. So the big point in this episode is they have a truce between the Predacons and them, and yeah. But the truce, no one seems to understand how a truce works because you can still fight, but you just can't use weapons. This leads to a bit at the end where they all sort of like comedy slapstick each other out. Like Rhinox hit someone with his butt, which
Yeah.
means Rhinox's butt is the most effective weapon in this show because it scored at least 4 knockouts.
He should have been a
Deadly.
wombat.
He should have been using it the entire time. He should just be running backwards into the enemy. But then you have like stuff like Optimus gets on the back of the ant and pulls his cabling out, which apparently isn't a truce violation, despite being the most violent thing we've seen in a while. Like that's like in the human case, that's going in someone and pulling out their kidney, but like, oh, technically still pacifism. It's not.
Yeah, they're robots. It doesn't matter.
My personal favorite of this episode is there's 2 things I love about this episode for just how weird they are. Is Optimus and Megatron meet to have their truce. They parlay in old school. They do it on top of a mountain that Optimus has to fly to reach, but Megatron can't fly, and if you see it when you go in, it's just a sheer drop all the way around. But Megatron at the end walks off. So do you just go do 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 wee? But then this episode also introduces Megatron's dinosaur arm is sentient because he brushes its teeth. It wakes up before him.
Yeah.
Which we just don't ever comment on. So it made me think I was going slightly mad.
Yeah, no, it has its own personality.
I would have loved if that had come up any time before this moment.
It wasn't relevant yet.
And we also get Megatron in the bath, which I actually thought you were lying about. But no, we get Megatron in the bath.
I wasn't lying about the bathtub.
Hot, wet Megatron action.
I was not lying about it. It will become one of the biggest memes in the Transformers community with Megatron, and the rubber ducky that Megatron has is so memetic. It has shown up in multiple comic books.
I always thought you were saying it's like a Star Wars thing where it has like an entire novel series and it's like called Shunglong Hall. It's actually the first Force user or something.
Yeah.
It transforms into a smaller rubber duck.
That's Ductimus Prime. Excuse you.
Duck formers.
Which also like ducks. Ducks are Predacons. Would be in Predacon camp, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, actually, if you go to the TF wiki and look up the rubber duck, the rubber duck is listed as a member of the Predacon army. Go to the TF wiki. It's amazing.
I wonder if it ranked higher than Dinobot. Like it's like
nobody ranked higher than Dinobot. That's ex-wife right there.
I know. I'm thinking of those British Army regiments that had a pet dog and it got pushed to rank of colonel and something like that.
No.
Like Megatron just there, like my duck has won another medal. It is now drill sergeant. Yeah, just this episode is basically the start of the story, the ending. So, interesting point about this is these Lord of the Wild, this episode, and the next 2 were actually meant to be one episode. Bob Forward explains that apparently anything more than a 2-parter is too hard to schedule. Before the Storm had to be made standalone. So we are effectively in our last act here, but they're just trying to make it, which does kind of explain the truce bit and how at the end we have this weird slapstick thing of everyone getting knocked out by things.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't sort of just continue on. We had to give this episode an ending.
Even with the stinger, right? I mean, we can finally, obviously spoilers for a 28-year-old show, but yeah, all those things we were talking about earlier, Probe, Angel Island Zone, it all comes to roost here. We finally, all these weeks that we've talked about, like, oh, this is a weird alien thing that we've somehow interacting with. Yeah, well, the people that made them are here, and they're not happy what our friends have done with their toys, frankly.
Yeah.
The landlords are back, and they're very annoyed. We haven't been paying the rent. I do like we just have them basically say it to the camera in the form of a speech. So here's all the things we've introduced that we've kind of forgotten about a little bit.
Yeah, there was what I remember the Probe and the Angel Eye. There was like one more. It was like the
Yeah.
tablet or something, like the Rosetta Stone thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's right. There was kind of a weird thing where there's just so much slapsticky Beast Wars stuff that goes around it. I just kind of forget.
I mean, like the Stonehenge, we haven't really like that was what episode 4 or 5.
I think
Yeah.
we come back to that. I'm pretty sure we get back to that.
Well, we do. We get to hear because they bring it up as one of the alien things. It's like
Yeah.
I can tell it's totally. It feels a bit cheap having just like having them Tigatron just say them all. Then it's like, oh, that's actually been like months in like real world broadcasting since the kids have even heard of this thing.
Yeah. Well done,
Uh,
Beast Wars. Well done.
we are almost at the end of the first season though, so I do want to hear your predictions for where we go. Now we have the golden disc in play, and the landlords are coming to collect the rent. So where do you think we go in the first season from here?
Um, if I remember correctly, I mean, the Predacons and the Maximals still don't necessarily play nice. Um, but there's like a doomsday component, right? Like there's like a okay, we're just going to start fresh kind of thing that basically forces a level of cooperation. But if I remember correctly, it's even with this truce in place, as John mentioned, they don't know how truces work, even in the face of a common enemy. So, so we get some more hijinks to stretch this thing out to 2 episodes.
Yeah. I'm sort of predicting we're going to get an ace blowing up the ship to wipe out the Cybermen in the dinosaur situation at some point. Someone is going to die, and it's going to be very, very sad. But I
Yeah.
presume, unlike Ace, they're going to come back.
Yeah, it's actually my favorite. That's probably I would say that's my favorite
Not
Fifth
Ace.
Doctor episode.
I don't know why I was
Yeah.
saying Ace. That's not the character's name.
No, but I know who you're talking. It's something else. Arthurian.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
I've got Seventh Doctor on the brain.
yeah,
Uh, I think quite a nice thing like this being a move into sort of the end game is this episode is packed with weird references to the fan community.
It is.
Yeah, so like Megatron's shelf, you see the type of head Starscream has is on there alongside his bowling trophy. Megatron's code to override things is ATT alert, which is alt.toys.transformers, which is the site I've been getting stuff from. And then he's talking about the storm being a powerful beyond imagination. That is the tagline from the original Transformers movie. And it was also the name of James Hook's website, who was a very big Transformers fan, who did a lot of the fan community stuff. So that's quite nice that this is full of like little nods to the fan community, especially when you sort of hear the commentaries when Bob Ford was like how often he'd go to the fan community to learn what was going on.
Mm.
See, I think that's part of why so many people in the Transformers community still love Beast Wars as much as they do. Like I've been doing this whole fan thing for a long time, you know. I got my stripes, kiddos, but you always know when a creator really cares about the IP that they're working with and when they don't. And Beast Wars is from top to bottom a labor of love, and it's goofy and weird, and it looks like it could run in DOS, but you can tell that there's love here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's taking big swings, which I appreciate. Like this alien plotline is risky. Like I would love to have been in the production meeting where they pitched like we're going to have more aliens come that are bigger, badder, and probably not as toyetic. Like we're not bringing in more Transformers, we're bringing in a whole new faction because that couldn't have been an easy pitch.
Well, and it had to be part of the original pitch, or at least an early part of the pitch too, considering how many seeds we've seen, and of course the fact that it's you know it's the capper for the season, and given that they have to do new assets to they have to generate new assets to create the aliens, and the production speed and level of production we're seeing, this has probably been in the works all along, frankly.
Oh yeah. But especially with I think how when you look at sort of how modern franchises handle their series, I don't think you get away with that in this way. I really can't see modern Hasbro basically allowing an ancient aliens plotline to be their basis.
And yet,
and yet. Um I will say one of my favorite lines this entire episode is hearing Megatron at the end of Before the Storm saying, but when you're serving bait, which with modern ears is the funniest line. It's like, yes, Megatron, serve that bait. Especially because he's so camp sounding. It's like you could really splice that into a RuPaul episode, and I don't think people would notice.
You know what?
Has there ever been a Transformers themed episode of RuPaul's Drag Race?
If there isn't, there should be.
There's been enough of them. They must have run out of themes at some point.
They have to. They have to have had like a partnership with like Paramount to promote like Transformers 1 or something, right?
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Oh, but they actually have to try.
That's what that movie's promotional campaign needed.
Or RuPaul.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking of the band Cybertronic Spree, who was Transformers, and then I'm sort of imagining that because they all wear big cardboard suits.
Yeah. Yeah, like Dio's stand.
I do, man. I think I'm thinking a lot about this right now because we are in Endgame, and where all of this ultimately ends up is really interesting, and it also underscores just how weird Transformers is as a franchise. And I'm just so excited. And I also really like that we're getting more of these weird little character interactions. I like that we're seeing more of Megatron finally. Like, I gotta throw that out there. Megatron did nothing this season. And he's finally decided he wants to get paid for his job.
He's turned up specifically for the episodes where he's here to say, I don't want to do that. I'm busy. Like, he's come back to tell everyone, I'm not doing anything now. So you weren't doing it before.
Yeah.
He really wasn't.
It's tinkering away in his, secret lab, just like every Predacon has their own.
I do love the conversation he has with Air Rays when they try and sneak in, because it is like the most. It's such a fun little moment of just these two being like, "Oh, Air, I'm so sorry." Just he's chewing the scenery to such a fun level, and then you've got Air Rays sort of doing her Air Razor bird thing. It's just fun.
I think the fun thing too, David K is Megatron's voice actor, and there's that moment where he's like laughing really hard and then starts coughing. Apparently David K just like actually was coughing and they left it in as a gag. Like, just straight up left that in.
It does feel like what something this show would do, to be fair.
It is.
I mean, also we should mention that apparently the Predacon's base runs on mist. We see like Tigatron hack in, but it's like all 3 CG. That really felt like a tech demo. I couldn't find for what. That really felt like someone was showing off their new shaders and we just put it in.
Yeah.
Like, look, we've reticulated the splines.
We've reticulated the spines.
It's like, what does this mean for the storyline? Nothing, but the spines, look at them, they're reticulating.
Oh my god.
We had to buy 3 new computers to do this.
Think of all the Dell Pentium 2 processors that fell apart.
Just so Tigatron could wiggle a little head around and look at a picture of a disc for a little bit.
I do want to throw one Transformers fandom thing out because I did just mention David K. David K as Megatron, he's done this for a while on YouTube, and you guys should check it out. During the holidays, he puts out basically a digital greeting card reading poems or stories or songs in Megatron's voice. And they're amazing. And if you haven't seen them, go see them because he loves this character, and I'm so happy that he does.
Oh, that's I know I'm doing tonight.
Oh, it's great. It's so good.
Oh, yeah, this is.
I mean, penultimate stuff for season 1 of Beast Wars.
Yeah, I think it definitely. I think this is hurt a little bit by them not doing the 4-part episode. I can see why a network for a kid show probably wouldn't want a 4-parter, but I feel that the weak parts of these 2 episodes are sort of those beginning and ends where we have to sort of come up with an ending. Like, the ending in this is a little bit clunky. It just basically goes to exposition dump.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I can also understand why the network is like, well, we're not going to be able to schedule. This is a kid show. It's got to be repeatable and fit into longer blocks. So we can't dedicate 4 episodes in one go. That makes the reruns hard.
Which which is kind of wild because a lot of more modern Transformers stuff does these 4-part episodes. Like Transformers Prime did a bunch of 4-parters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think it's because
wonder if that's like changing sensibilities. I name dropping in a second. I've had the
Put the
privilege,
counter on.
yeah, I've had the privilege of sitting down with like Bruce Timm and talking about like a lot of the DC animated universe stuff he did. And I was like, did you ever get any pushback from Kids WB to do a 3-part opener for Superman the animated series? And he was like, no, they just like were now keep it at the keeping in mind he's fresh off the hit of Batman the animated series at the time. And they were probably just like, do whatever you want.
Take our money.
But
I
yeah, no pushback on doing a 3-part premiere, which is bananas. If
I
you think
think it does help that I think that was if that was made for Kids WB. Because remember, Beast Wars was aiming for syndication,
right,
where it means it was going to be packaged in different blocks across the country on different channels. So I think there's probably an argument that if you're aiming for syndication, you should make things as easy to swap around as possible for different markets have different needs,
yeah.
which you don't really get nowadays. Syndication isn't really as big a deal. The aim is to get on your own streaming service and then lose a lot of money, then cancel your streaming service.
Yeah.
Uh,
Some
but
of
yeah,
them are. I'm surprised so many have stayed alive, frankly, without naming
it's
which ones. But I think we can probably estimate.
The wheels of capitalism do be a turning.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a really obscure streaming service, and I can't think of one apart from the Christian one that keeps emailing me.
Shudder? Is Shudder obscure?
Shudder's still going.
Shutter's still fine. Shutter's fine. It's part of AMC.
Yeah,
They're going to be getting rid of Hulu soon.
Shudder
Well,
is just.
it's merging with Disney Plus, but yeah.
We say that, but by the time this episode comes out, it may have broken back off again. HBO has
Yeah.
probably been renamed 3 times in the time it takes me to edit this.
Oh man,
Oh my God, yeah.
back when I was writing articles and they would, same thing with Prime Video, they would make sure to get the branding right every time I was writing like a news article for like CBR or something. The streamer publicist would always be like, "Remember, it's Max now. It's just Max." And it's like, "Great."
I
Oh, hello, Max. What's the name of your streaming service?
Yeah.
Hello, excuse me. I'm going to need to know what the name of your streaming service is. But what are our final thoughts, my friends?
It's good. We're seeing a lot of payoff. It's more payoff than I remembered. And yeah, we're you know, forward on to the end, once more into the breach.
Yeah, I'm still loving how Beast Wars is taking these big, it's not always working, but it's taking risks, and I appreciate that. I'm curious how they round all this off. They have some quite esoteric plot points to finish before the end of this. And yeah, but it's the idea of this kid show, very poetic, being like, actually, our end game isn't our hero and villain fighting. It's a whole new faction who are being portrayed as almost like a precursor species thing going on. That is giving me Ben Bova vibes, which I did not expect to come from Transformers. So I'm excited to see how it ends, and I hope we see more of Megatron in the bath.
Oh, I believe, if I'm correct, we do see some more Megatron in the bath. I think Inferno is involved at one point. But regardless of that tintillating image for everyone, I really like Law of the Jungle. I forgot how much I liked Law of the Jungle because I do see it as kind of where the memories that people have of Dinobot as a character, I think a lot of it has started in the last couple of episodes, and obviously once we get to our season 2 eventually, that's when you kind of see what makes him the one of the only Beast Wars entries into the Transformers Hall of Fame. But I really like these episodes. I like the inclusion of the Golden Disc. I'm a huge nerd for sci-fi crap, and the Golden Disc was a major player in sci-fi for a while. So, but honestly, if you haven't checked out the tracks on the Golden Disc, you can listen to them. It's very cool. It's a really interesting thing to check out. But I love Beast Wars. Y'all know I love Beast Wars, and I'm going to keep recommending Beast Wars. But that does mean we are pulling into our final destination. That's right. It is time for us to disembark from Toonami Absolution. We want to thank you once again for joining us and talking about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We have been your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you next time. Bang.